having discussion on so how quality testing of food products are done, who are all the players who can do the quality testing, and also some aspects relating to medicinal and aromatic plants testing part also we can take it up. So the speaker is Dr. Rajesh Nair. Yeah, I just received a call from Dr. Nair, so who is again he's facing some internet issues, but as soon as he joins, we'll start the session. Meanwhile, to introduce the context setting, again, quality testing, you need to do it for all those things. So there are different agencies. So like standards and other things, FSSI is there, Bureau of Indian Standards are there. So a lot of accredited labs are there. So where you can take the services of these accredited labs. One such accredited lab is again is COF lab, which is there at Anand, Gujarat, and so National Dairy Development Board is hosting that lab, where they provide you all kind of services for testing of your product in terms of quality, in terms of contaminants, where it is heavy metals, where it is pesticides, where it is microbial contaminants, or any other contaminants for that matter. So they are able to cater all those needs. So we are, again, as soon as he joins, we can start the session. Meanwhile, I request... So this program is being organized by Medi-Hub Technology Business Incubator, which is there at ICR, Directorate of Medicinal and Aromatic Plants. Our aim is to bring in startups in the field of medicinal and aromatic plants in specific and in general agriculture. Whoever wants to have their enterprise in agriculture and medicinal plants can contact us, can incubate your ideas at incubation centers. So this center is being organized, this center was established in the year 2020. At present, we have 20 incubators working with us on different areas of medicinal and aromatic plants. Some are also working on food products, nutraceutical components also people are working. Veterinary herbal medicine is another area where people are working, contract farming. Then also people are working on contract farming as well as this marketing. Also, a lot of people are working contract cultivation. So they wanted to establish FPOs. So any company for that matter, or any individual for that matter, or any enterprise, where it is cooperative or where it is FPO, can be incubated with these technology business incubators, so that all those kind of these services, such as technology consultation, business consultation, and networking, all those things will be taken care at these incubation centers. So we have around 50 agri-business incubators, which are again spread across various cities and enterprises. To name few, again, millets, you have at Hyderabad, Nutri-Hub Technology Business Incubator. Again, AID and ARM is one of them, also working on supporting various entrepreneurs in the field of, and array of, there is no specificity of the domain in that incubator. Like banana incubator is there, working on banana products. Spices 3 is there. Best Thought is at IHR, Bangalore. Then Pusa Krishi at IERI New Delhi. So they're all, they wanted to build an ecosystem for startups, and they want to bring in startups in the field of medicinal and aromatic plants. I'm expecting Rajesh Nair to join at any moment. Nair sir is there. Doctor, can you hear me, sir? He has some problem with the internet.
Sir, your system is on mute, Nair sir. Kindly unmute and try to speak.
Meanwhile, Deepa, can you brief about Medi-Hub? We can, so that I can also bring in our director also.
Sure, sir. Sure.
You go ahead. So meanwhile, sir, slightly we will change the session since Rajesh Nair is going to join. We would like to have, so let us know about us, about Medi-Hub Technology Business Incubator, and how Medi-Hub Technology Business Incubator will be supporting you in converting your idea into business. So I think Dr. Deepa, you go ahead with your presentation. Dr. Deepa is again, to introduce her, she is again business manager at Medi-Hub Technology Business Incubator. She looks after all those incubation support and business development at our institute, and she is again graduate in management and doctorate in management, business management, and a lot of energy to listen to you. And over to you, Dr. Deepa, to kindly go ahead with your presentation. Go to slide number 1.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. I know everybody is eagerly waiting for Dr. Nair to speak, because that is the very much interesting topic, and knowledge enhancement is very much needed when it comes to quality, and especially into the era where we are here, right? Because people are getting aware day by day. So every layman, if you talk, they know what is quality about, right? And what they are paying off for some kind of quality. So in a brief, I'll go through my presentation, and we'll talk about what are the, some of the problems which our incubators encountered, and how we were able to actually help them out into that. So as usual, my presentation flow is, firstly, I'll be highlighting something on medicinal aromatic plant business sector, and then it will give some little insight on incubation center, and how do we support from Medi-Hub TBI. So to start with this simple presentation, firstly, as we know that herbal medicine.
Deepa, can you go to slide number 1? Can you go to slide number 1?
Which slide is visible right now? Business environment?
No, 29th slide is visible. Medi-Hub.
Okay.
I'll unshare it, so you can share it again.
Okay, I'll do that.
So Dr. Satyanshu Kumar sir has joined. Yeah, he is going to join.
Okay. Dr. Sorry for late.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you. Welcome to you for this.
No, sorry for late. Okay, because
okay.
we are busy with something.
Okay. Rajesh Nair is going to join, sir, now because he is facing some problem with the internet. So, so I'm. You just check Dr. Deepa if sir has joined. So otherwise we can go ahead with your.
So now is it visible, sir?
First slide it is visible. Yeah.
And I'm scrolling it.
Yeah. No, you go to first slide.
Yes, I'm on first slide.
Okay. Go ahead. Put it into presentation mode.
Yes, it is into presentation mode.
Nair sir, only video. Can you put on? Stop. Yeah. Sir, Satyanshu sir will take up Medi-Hub presentation first. because Nair is going to join. As soon as he is ready, then we go for the regular presentations.
So, okay, you go ahead. Okay,
thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Deepa, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, the thing is when I put it into presentation mode, it is not visible. Slides are not moving, right?
Oh, yeah. You put off your video, or else you can put.
I'll try that. I'll try that.
Madam, this is, I'm sorry to interrupt. Actually, this is Rajesh Nair.
Oh, yes, sir.
I don't. I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm facing a lot of problem. I changed the laptop also, but I was unable to even switch on my mute. You know, I was unable to even know what's the problem. Now I think I'm audible, right?
You are audible, sir. You are audible.
Yes, sir. Now it is fine.
All well. So I think we can. Deepa, we can take your session later. So I think let me introduce our speaker, Dr. Satyanshu Kumar, who is the director of ICR, Directorate of Medicinal and Aromatic Plants. He's a renowned chemist, organic chemist, working entire his lifespan working on chemical aspects, and he has developed a lot of processes for extraction of phytoceuticals from plants, and also detection methods. So he has filed many patents, as many as 10 patents in the field of medicinal and aromatic plants. Worked extensively on various aspects of technology development relating to phytochemicals. And so he is currently the director of ICR, Directorate of Medicinal and Aromatic Plants, which is again National Institute working on medicinal and aromatic plants in the country. And we work on development of varieties, development of production technologies, as well as various quality testing methods and other aspects of medicinal plants sector. So with this brief introduction, now I invite Dr. Satyanshu Kumar for his overview. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Reddy, for your kind words. And I also welcome Dr. Rajesh Nair, who is the speaker of today's ABI seminar. And in addition to that, I welcome Dr. Reddy, Dr. Deepa, and most importantly, all the participants who are attending this program. And today's lecture is very significant as far as the quality of the medicinal plants and the food products are concerned. Medicinal plant, unlike other plants, are very valued for its active ingredient, and the determination or monitoring of the quality is one of the very important research area, or in fact priority area of the medicinal plant. And as you know or must be aware that our ICAR, Directorate of Medicinal and Aromatic Plant, is exclusively working on the all aspects of the medicinal and aromatic plant. And before I switch over to the importance of the quality or the active ingredients, I would like to mention about the Indian medicinal plant. India is rich in the medicinal plants, and one estimates says that about 44% of the about 20,000 plants which are available in India have medicinal plants, and about 8,000 medicinal plants are being used in the different systems of Indian medicines, because Indian systems of medicines include Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, Sovaripa, etc. And medicinal plant is the main source of the drugs of these systems, and our directorate is working from the collection, conservation, and development of good agricultural practices, as well as the other related aspects, that is covering the technology development for commercial cultivation of the medicinal and aromatic plants, because up to this stage even most of the medicinal plants, about 90% is being collected from the forest or wild. That practice is no more sustainable, because over the period we are losing many valuable plants, and they are gradually coming from the rare to endangered and threatened. In that direction, this directorate is working on the whole aspects, that is collection, conservation, maintenance, breeding, development of varieties, and post-harvest management practices. And one more thing very pertinent to mention here, that our directorate has got a very good leader, Dr. Nagaraj Reddy, who is constantly taking all aspects of the medicinal and aromatic plants which are required for development of a successful entrepreneurs in the area of the medicinal plants. And you must have it must have come to your knowledge, because of his consistent efforts. Our this ABI has reached up to the Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat in last year. In one of his program of Mann Ki Baat, he highlighted the achievement of this ABI, which is being looked after by Dr. Reddy in a very successful manner. And particularly, Prime Minister has mentioned that this ABI, in a very short span of time, has able to create his own imprint by developing the entrepreneurs who have become successful in a very short span of time. And for that, we congratulate Dr. Reddy and all his team and all the members of the ABI who are working in the leadership of the Dr. Reddy. Now I would be coming to the quality of the medicinal plants. Medicinal plants are in fact have medicinal property because of the secondary metabolites, and other crops like cereals, oilseed, pulses, and other plants are valued mainly for the primary metabolites. Primary metabolites are like protein, starch, carbohydrates, vitamins, mineral, fatty acids, like that. But plant also synthesize secondary metabolites in addition to the primary metabolites. Primary metabolites are in fact needed for their own consumption or their survival. But you might have got a question then, why the plants make secondary metabolites. Secondary metabolites are needed for the plant survival to fight with the biotic as well as the abiotic stress, because plants have to face both biotic and abiotic stresses as well. And they don't have any other sources except by synthesizing these secondary metabolites. And these secondary metabolites have almost the all medicinal properties. And secondary metabolites belong to different group of chemicals. Just I would like to mention that alkaloids, flavonoids, or terpenes or esteroid. These are nothing but the different chemical groups in which these secondary metabolites belong. And one very important thing about the secondary metabolites are that their content is very, very low. You cannot think that these secondary metabolites are available in 1% or 2% or higher concentration. Most of the time, rarely these plants have abundance of the secondary metabolites beyond 1 or 2%. Mostly their content varies between 0.1, 0.2, or sometimes 0.00, and even below that. And one point is that their concentration is very low. And other thing is that even their concentration is low, these secondary metabolites are surrounded by the matrix. That means they are not freely available. So their estimation again becomes a very challenging job. But gradually, with the development of the instrumentation in advancement in the instrumentation, it is possible to identify and characterize all these secondary metabolites at a very lower concentration. Usually, earlier the ppm level was thought to be the quantifiable concentration, but now with the advancement of the tandem techniques, I will describe what are the tandem techniques. But with the advancement of the tandem techniques, it has become a routine practice to analyze those secondary metabolites even at the concentration of the level of the pico and even beyond that. And earlier, the HPLC or GCMS was supposed to be the one of the advanced technique which are most widely used for the identification and characterization of the secondary metabolites. But these tandem techniques means the technology in which more than two technology have been integrated, just like LCMS. That means the liquid chromatography, that is HPLC, is coupled with the mass spectrometry like GCMS, and nowadays even 3-4 techniques are being combined, which gives a very low quantifiable limit as well as the very good resolution. And the other most important thing about the quality control or the quantification of the secondary metabolites for from the medicinal and aromatic plant is that whatever method you are using, that method should be validated as per the guidelines, international guidelines. And in this context, there are international guidelines like ICH, that is International Conference on Harmonization, which have clearly defined what parameters should be validated. Then only your method would be considered as a validated method. And most of the time, if you are reporting some data, then the first question arises that whatever the methods you are using, whether those methods are validated or not validated as per ICH guidelines. And accordingly, you have to consider that whatever the methods you are selecting are validated as per the ICH guidelines or not. And the other very important thing is that some of the medicinal plants are being quantified for quality control for a particular group of the markers, that is known as the chemical markers or active markers. But nowadays, it is pertinently become important that you also have to identify the what are the other minor components. Earlier, the major components were the main focus, that you have to concentrate on the main active ingredients, main chemical components. But with the advancement of the technology or tandem techniques, now it has been becoming gradually important that you also have to consider that what are the other minor components. So a broad profiling is required, whether it is your extract or essential oil or any product you have developed, because sometimes it happens that the minor components have a much stronger biological activity than the most of the major components. So my profiling of the minor components are also becoming very important. and many a times what is being raised, that the minor compounds may have some toxicity related aspects. So profiling of the both major as well as minor components are becoming very much important, and I hope today's speaker, Dr. Nair, will be deliberating you about all the important aspects which are essentially required for the characterization and identification and quantification of the major and minor components of the medicinal plant as well as the other food products. And with these words, I would like to restrict to myself and request Dr. Nair to give you the detailed information about the methods or instrumentations presently being used for the quantification and characterization of the medicinal as well as food products. And I would also like to thank, before I close my speech, Dr. Nair, who has accepted our invitation to deliver this very important topic. And thank you, Dr. Nair. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kumar, for highlighting the importance of quality in enterprise development. Quality can be like a physical, the chemical content or contaminants. You have very well highlighted the importance of quality testing. So thank you, sir. Moving ahead, so let me introduce today's speaker, Dr. Rajesh Nair, who is heading COP Lab at Anand NEDP, National Dairy Development Board, ICR National Dairy Development Board, who is the director of this COP Lab, NDDB. I just present a brief biodata of Dr. Nair, who is again having very vast experience of working in various organizations like Redicura Pharmaceuticals, Indigo Cardio Survivors, and CPC Laboratory. Then Geochem International, Mumbai, he worked, and he was working as the Assistant General Manager, Abbott Nutritional Research and Development Center. And also now he is currently the director at COP Lab, National Dairy Development Board. And he has again very renowned and published many scientific papers, and he is the member of scientific panel of Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, that is FSSI, who is monitoring the quality and quality aspects of food products, including many nutraceuticals and other things. He is member of 2 technical committees of Bureau of Indian Standards, New Delhi. He is a committee member of country's laboratory accreditation system, that is NABL accreditation system, labs where you get a lot of labs get accredited, and also is an assessor of National Accreditation Board for testing of calibration of laboratories, NABL, that is QCI, Quality Council of India. He is a technical committee member of Codex India and member of Indian Dairy Association, working more than 25 years of experience working in the field of quality assurance and evaluation of food and agricultural industry and analytical laboratories. He has very extensively worked on analytical research in agri-food sector and also working on various regulatory aspects and various things. And he has a very good exposure to HACCP, ISO certifications, and all those certifications like GLP, GMP, ISO in the sector of food manufacturing. And he has specialization in quality analysis of food as well as inspection and testing. So I don't want to take further. So with this brief introduction, I now welcome Dr. Rajesh Nair, who is kind enough to accept our invitation to be part of this program. And sir, over to you. kindly go ahead with your presentation, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Director, sir, for setting up a platform for this presentation, and also Dr. Reddy for the nice introduction. I just opened my presentation.
Open your presentation, sir.
Yeah, I'm opening.
Your screen is visible, sir. Can you click it again, sir? Presentation is not visible. Your screen is visible.
I'll just share, I think, 1 second.
Your screen is visible, sir. Only presentation, you click it again.
My slide, is it coming?
Sir, please unshare the screen first. Start your presentation and then again try to share it. Presentation directly.
Share. It's written here, your screen sharing.
Yeah, your screen is visible, sir. Your presentation is not open. You just click on the ICR DMAPR quality testing file. That file is there, no?
Stop sharing. Now again, I have to redo it, I think.
Yeah.
Now it's coming?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is coming, sir. It has come, sir. Put it into
Yeah.
presentation mode, sir.
Is it okay?
Yeah,
now?
visible, sir. Visible, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
First of all, sorry for the delays. Actually, in fact, I always go 10 minutes, only 10 to 15 minutes before the programs. But unfortunately, I don't know. I had some problem in laptop. I changed the laptop also. Now hope this is working fine now. This is the problems with online training programs. Otherwise, you will go with the pen drive and it works. Okay, so coming back to my topic is, am I audible to you, everybody? Sir, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
My topic is quality testing, food products and medicinal produce status and prospects. So I'm so happy that you invited me to this important event. And I'm sure all the participants are from they are entrepreneurs or related to these medicinal plants. My topic is some way or the other way it is relevant to them also, though I'm not my background is not exactly the medicinal plant and produce. So this is related in the sense quality is also very, very important. And when you are manufacturing such products, you need to also see that you are meeting the regulatory requirements, or quality is very, very important. So in my presentation, I'll be covering quality and safety parameters, then importance of quality testing, regulations and accreditation, roles of testing laboratory, and quality attributes of food and medicinal produce, prospects of quality testing. And challenges and concerns. Nowadays the concept is changing actually. Earlier, once we have a problem, we'll go to the hospital and take medicine. Like earlier, centuries back, Hippocrates said that let food be the medicine and medicine be the food. Because nowadays the people are selecting the food in such a way that they will not have any health issues. So the nutrition and the food quality is picking up the pace, and it is very, very important nowadays. So before getting into my topic, I just wanted to give you an introduction on the Indian dairy sector also, because being from NDDB, National Dairy Development Board, I just think of sharing the cooperative, the evolution of cooperative system in India. 1 second. Anyway, I'm unable to see the top. Anyway, so in 1940s, we'll go back to 1940. 1940, the food was, the milk was handled in unorganized sector. There was no cooperative system and no milk processing and cold chain infrastructure was there. Dairy was not a commercial activity like what we are doing it today, what we are seeing today. In different brands, you can see milk is sold. Kaira district had adequate milk supply that time, a place called Anand. Then it was earlier the name was Kaira, now today it's Anand. So what was happening, the milk was, there was a lot of production happening in this area, Anand area, and milk was transported to Mumbai. And there were a lot of exploitation happening by the middleman. And there was a dairy called Polson Dairy run by a Britisher. And he was engaging brokers, the middleman for collecting the milk, and the farmers were not getting the deserved prices that time. So in that time, there was a protest under the leadership of Sri Tribhuvan Das and Sri Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and Sri Morarji Desai, and they started a cooperative in the cooperative system for dairy in the year 1946. The first name of the cooperative was KDCMPL. That is today's, it's very famous, the name, it's Amul. And later on, yeah. So in 1964, the then Prime Minister Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri Ji visited Anand, and not only he visited, actually visited inaugurating a cattle feed plant in Kanjri, and he stayed one night in a farmer's house that time. It was a last minute decision. He stayed one night, and Dr. Varghese Kurian was also accompanying him. And there he understood the success story of this Anand model of cooperative system. There he asked Dr. Kurian to replicate this system across India. That is the way this National Dairy Development Board has started in 1965. Just to replicate this milk cooperative system model. That is a 3-tier system. You can see this. That is from the dairy cooperative societies, which is located in villages, they pour the milk there, farmers will pour the milk, and this milk will be collected from there, and it will go to the district units. And district level, they process this milk and they sell it. Also, there is a apex body called, federation. In Gujarat, it is GCMMF, Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation. So they are marketing the activities of milk. So this is called a 3-tier system of dairy cooperative. And this is what basically NDDB replicated across India. Now you see so many brands like Nandini, Milma, and many brands like that. So that's the starting of the revolution. Now, so this is what has made, from a milk deficient country to excess or the largest producer of milk today in the world. India is the largest producer of milk. So I am coming back to my own, organization. It's a laboratory called CAP. This is a building you can see. This lab is established in the year 2009. And we are involved, we are a national reference laboratory also for dairy and dairy products. And in addition to this, we handle all the food and agriculture products, and especially ingredients and things like that, which is used for herbals and Ayurvedic productions and all that. And we have facility for doing all the safety parameters like veterinary drug residues, heavy metals, microbiological parameters, pesticides, etc. Quality testing. Quality testing and analysis. So 1 second. Right.
Yeah, it is. They are moving. Slides are moving, sir. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Slides are. I'm able to see. So I think I have to give me 2 minutes.
Put it into presentation mode, sir. Again, we can able to see your slides.
I'm just adjusting the ribbon. Actually, I'm unable to.
Yes, sir. Slides are moving, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Introduction. Quality testing and analysis are the most essential pillars of product safety ecosystem that assures wholesomeness and safety of the product consumed. Food safety issues and the enhancement of health security are of growing national and international concern. It is of critical importance to have an understanding of an existing infrastructure available for food product testing in the country in terms of capacity, provision of equipment, technical manpower, geographical spread, and testing capabilities. Food testing labs in India have been categorized based on their registrations, that is, enable accredited labs, FSSAI approved labs, then that is food business operators own labs. These are called in-house laboratories, referral labs, institutional labs, and non-FSSAI labs. Geographical spread zone wise, that is north, east, west, and south, as well as their varying testing capabilities, that is biological, chemical testing, among others. So this is the way these are not the nomenclature of the labs which are available currently in India. Quality, what do you mean by quality? Quality means degree of excellence by intended consumer, and you can also say that quality is those characteristics of an individual units which have significance in determining the degree of acceptability by the consumer. Safety is an integral part of quality and it cannot be compromised. Food safety means assurance that food is acceptable for human consumption according to its intended use. It includes prevention of all hazardous physical, biological, chronic, or acute that may make food injurious to health of the consumer. So this is a definition of quality. Open in the PPT. Yeah. The quality testing, the need for quality testing assures product safety, approval to enter the market, because it's a clearance for the product to enter the market, and aids in brand reputation, which in turn leads to an increase in business ventures. It helps in providing that the product is free of physical, chemical, and biological hazards, to meet the regulatory requirements of the country and access to global market. Enhanced customer confidence and satisfaction, because if the quality testing is not there, there are multiple issues. In India, you start from the the regulatory point of view. For all the food products and ingredients, there is a different kind of regulatory requirements are there. For example, for domestic, it is Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, and DA specification is also there. And for export inspection council regulations are there. And more than that, most of the time, people are approaching us for getting their sample tested as per the importing country requirements. Like for example, if it is going to Europe, it is EU. Now, importance of quality testing. India had the highest number of interceptions raised for the presence of harmful organisms in the plant and produce imported as compared to other developing country export to EU. Just I have given you a table of the RASAF alert. RASAF alert is something which is, there is an alert issued by European Union. When there is a rejection in the report, they issue this. You can also check it online. And if you see under the country list, if you see India, notification, you can see there were 2,240 notifications were there. Out of which border rejections were there 1,490, and border rejection in proportion to notification, it was 66%. And serious cases, if you see 672 serious cases were there. And destruction of consignment, some of the cases they asked us to distract the consignment there itself. So such cases were 583. Indian export of mangoes, table grapes, okra, peanuts, curry leaves, chilies, shrimps, prawns, and tamarind have faced rejections in markets such as in the US, Vietnam, EU, Saudi Arabia, Japan, and Bhutan. So this is the importance of testing. Unless otherwise you test this product and ensure that this is free of food safety issues, we will have problem while it is getting imported in the importing ports. Now, the importance of quality testing case studies. You also know some of the cases. I just quickly go through. One was Maggie. I'm not going through one by one. So Maggie, we know that what happened to Maggie. There was an issue, and the lead level and MSG was there, and the lead level was very high. It's a heavy metal actually, as per FSSA. There was a prescribed limit is there, but it was crossing the limit. So this project got, there was a ban on this product, and they had roughly around 2,000 crore loss in that year. That's the cases you be in front of us, it is there. So this is a risk of not ensuring the quality. Now, another case, the US Food and Drug Administration has found Salmonella bacteria in MTH sambar masala. And the sambar masala was manufactured by R Pure Agro Specialities, sold by House of Spices India, and was distributed in Northern California retail stores. So this was one of the, and this was another example. And one more thing you can see, this kind of honey trap, what happened to the China honey? Earlier China honey was banned by US. So what China did, the consignment was going from China to other places like Australia and India, and it was repacked and was again exported to US as a by changing the country of origin to circumvent the taxes, the duties. So that's why it happened. So later on they realized, because now we are also doing this, because honey, the problem is if you are putting sugar into honey, it's very difficult to distinguish, because inherent sugar is already there in honey. So very high-end testings were required for that, but India was lacking all these things. Earlier we were sending it to European countries, but now we are also, even today we are also having this facility in India. Now, what is it? If you see the authenticity, you would have heard of the term authenticity. Authenticity means mainly it is adulteration with cheap sugars in case of honey. The motive is to increase the volume of product, or mislabeling for botanical origin. Modify the consumer perception of quality and value of honey, because sometimes you see what we call mustard honey, different honey. Honey is also coming based on the flour. It is also changing. The brand value is also very high. So like that, geographically also there are adaptations happening. It's called authenticity, mislabeled for geographical origin to circumvent bans, to avoid tariff rules. And another motive is high realization for honey, changing the country of origin. And one example also I have quoted there. Now, authenticity and analytical expertise. Sugar is already an analytical point of, I'm just telling you what is exactly the authenticity with an example. Sugar is already present in sample, and if adulterated with exogenous sugar, it's difficult to detect and confirm with routine laboratory techniques and equipment. Analysis technique is based upon stable carbon isotope ratio analysis, and earlier this was not there in India. And now we have purchased this IRMS machine, and because it is very high-end testing, it's called isotopic ratio analysis. In nature, carbon exists as C12 and C30, and its abundance is around 98.93. C12 is maximum there, whereas C13 is very less. So based on this ratio, we can analyze and see how much adulterated it is. The distribution of these isotope in any product is known as the isotopic signature of product and remains constant. So even from geographically also, if you see the water available in Punjab and water available in Chennai, also you can see an isotopic ratio difference. This is the way you can really check and understand that how geographically it is different. During photosynthesis process, plant follows C3 or C4 pathways for carbon fixation. C3 and C4 plants have different isotopic signatures. Generally, plants visited by honeybees for production of honey are C3 plants. The common source of adulteration for sugar, that is cane sugar or corn syrup, are C4 plants. On the basis of different isotopic signature of C3 and C4 plants, exogenous sugar of C4 plant origin can be quantified by using an equipment called EIRMS. So that's the way sugar adulteration in honey is detected. Now coming back to the regulations and accreditation and evolution of regulations in India. For health and food processing, the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954 was there earlier. Now it is replaced by FSSAI, and Fruits and Vegetable Product Control Order was there FPO 1955. Some of you will be knowing it. Meat Food Products Order was 1973 was there. Then Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Essential Commodities Act 1955, BIS, Standard of Weights and Measurement Act, the Consumer Protection Act, Standard of Weights and Measures Enforcement Act, Vegetable Product Control Order, Solvent Extraction Oil, Edible Oil Packaging Regulation Order. And marine, for commercial industry, Marine Product Export Development Authority, MPDA Act 1972, EIA is there, Export Quality Control and Inspection Act 1963, Foreign Trade Development and Regulation Act 1992, the Agricultural and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority, that is APIDA 1985, Agriculture and Marketing, Agricultural Produce Grading and Marketing Act 1937, and General Grading and Making Rules 1988, Insecticide Act 1968, Milk and Milk Products Control Order 1992. Now coming to Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. This has replaced many earlier regulatory standards. A statutory regulatory body under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, constituted on 5th September 2008 under Food Safety and Standards Act 2006. The mandate of FSSAI is laying down science-based standards for article of food and to regulate their manufacturing, storage, distribution, sale and import to ensure availability of safe and wholesome food for human consumption. Regulatory bodies have and their role. See, FSSAI, BIS, EIC, APIDA, FSSAI for domestic, BIS is also for domestic certification, but for certain specific products as far as food and ingredients and other medicinal products are concerned. Then Export Inspection Council, they are basically responsible for the export items, especially seafoods, and there are 5 items are there as per notification also. Then ACMARG is there, Grading and Marketing. Then APIDA is the Agriculture Process Food Produce Export Development Authority. The National Medicinal Plant Board has been established by Government of India to coordinate with all matters relating to medicinal plants and support policies and programs for growth of trade, export, conservation, and cultivation. The board is also working under Ministry of Ayurveda, Yoga, and Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, and Homeopathy. Then, role of regulatory bodies. Regulatory bodies have the key role in safety management from the primary production until the consumption, decision on compliance, formulations of product specification, implementing new regulations from time to time. It's not a stable thing, static, it is dynamic actually. Once they issue the specifications also, it will be changing from time to time based on the requirements. Then implementing new regulations, providing unbiased education and service to all stakeholders, and inspections and audits. Now, roles of testing laboratories and accreditation. What is accreditation? Accreditation is a procedure by which an authoritative body gives formal recognition of technical competence for specific test or measurement based on third-party assessment and following international standard. You see the difference between accreditation and certification. Accreditation, because these two words are very, very common, and sometimes people are confused also with these two words. Accreditation procedure by which an authoritative body, for example, NABL, National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories, gives formal recognition that a body, for example, a laboratory or a person, is competent to carry out specific tasks, recognizes the technical competence of laboratory staff. Whereas if there is a difference between ISO 9001 and ISO 17025. Certification is procedure by which a third party gives a written assurance that a product, process, or service of an organization conforms to specified requirements. Assure the client that hello. Some sound.
Sorry, sir. Please continue.
Yeah, some sound noise was there. Assures the assures the client that the organization has in place an effective quality or environmental management system. So certificate accreditation will empower you to give a certification, but certification is just, it is not exactly what is accreditation. It's only an assurance given by a third party. So why go for accreditation? Product tested once, accepted everywhere, because this is also related to your products when you are going with your business. Because you also, when you are getting your product tested, you also need to ensure that it is, getting tested from an accredited laboratory. Because there are many food testing laboratory and ingredient or what you call medicinal testing laboratories, but accreditation will ensure the competency of the laboratory. So you always see that the lab which you are approaching is NABL accredited or any other accreditation, but mostly in India it is NABL accreditation. So to ensure technical validity of the test results reported, it will ensure that a valid report is issued. To ensure ready acceptability of test results by the trade, industry and regulatory authorities such as FSSAI, EIC, BAS, APIDA, etc. Better control of lab operations and feedback to lab as to whether they have sound quality assurance system and are technically competent. These are the advantages. Then it also prevents the occurrence of errors. Hence, it saves hence it saves money, time, materials, manpower, etc. Updates quality of testing and establishes credibility of laboratory. Maintains consistency in the quality of service provided. Eliminates independent quality assessment by the customers. Ensures smoothness in workflow. International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation, ILAC. The role of ILAC, this is actually India is coming under APLAC, it is Asia Pacific Laboratory Accreditation Council. This is it is actually the picture, if you see, you understand. This is another advantage of getting laboratory, a product tested from an accredited laboratory, because ILAC is the apex body, International Laboratory Accreditation Council, and India is coming under APLAC, that is covered basically for Asia Pacific. And we have a memorandum of understanding. It's called Mutual Recognition Agreement with the APLAC, and it is directly connected to ILAC. So a product tested, when you are exporting it to somewhere else, you can very well say that this product is tested from an NABL accredited laboratory. So it will be automatically accepted there, ideally, because both of us are going with the same standard. An accredited laboratory in UK or US and an accredited laboratory in India is following the same standard, and ultimately they are connected to ILAC. So ideally, this is kind of a removing the trade barrier we are going with this. So to develop the principles and the practice of laboratory accreditation, and ILAC I am talking, to harmonize procedures and criteria for accreditation, assist in the development of new program, to facilitate mutual recognition of members program, to reduce technical barriers in trade, and to improve international acceptability of test results. That's why ILAC stands for. Now, accreditation of laboratories in India. National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories is an accredited body which was set up in 1992. And NABL is a member of APLAC and ILAC. NABL provides voluntary accreditation services to testing and calibration laboratories, medical testing laboratories, proficiency testing providers, and reference materials. Status of quality testing laboratories in India. It's just to give you an understanding, because you will be interested in. I'm not going into details actually, because we have a good facility to support your products. That's what I'm trying to say. Earlier it was not there. Today we have 7,000 laboratories accredited in India. out of which there are 200 and around 300 food testing laboratories are there. Now, what is the role of these laboratories? How it is going to help the medicinal, processors or producers? It provides robust quality management system, better operational control, assurance of accurate and reliable results, and to assess the situation by risk assessment, formulate the policies. You can have your own policies based on these test results, setting up specifications and standards for regulatory bodies, because regulatory bodies are also requiring the help of good laboratories, because when they are setting up standards, they need to do a lot of risk assessment, testing and things like that. So there, even methodology has to be developed many areas, especially safety parameters, because there is no assessed standards are not there. Many times we do development of methods. Then safeguard country interest. Quality attributes of food and medicinal products. Chemical contaminant analysis. This some of you will be interested, because most of the time I have seen that even our experience also, Ayurvedic products and medicinal plants, they mostly do, the ingredient testing is really a challenge in this thing actually. Many times there is no certified reference material for those products. Active ingredient is kind of a concept actually, because it's all you need to have a CRM in place and you have to compare. But always when you go for export, even for domestic also, these safety parameters are very, very, very important. And those tests are pesticide residues, heavy metals, mycotoxins, naturally occurring toxins, dioxins and furans, BHs, PCBs, volatile organic substances, etc. This is a slide showing, some of the names of pesticide residues. I'm not going to. There are thousands of pesticide residues are there used in the world. Out of which in India currently we are monitoring around 250 pesticide residue for FSSAI. So big list is there and very high end. I mean, Director Sir was also telling in the beginning, he was talking about LCMS, that is liquid chromatograph, mass spectrometry, and high-end chromatography technique like GCMS, IRMS. All these technologies are big, and these equipments are very, very expensive. Not only the expense actually, the cost of the equipment, the competency is also very, very important for running this. It's not like you are just switching on and you will get the result. A lot of extraction procedures, software is there. You need to have a lot of calibrations and other things to do a proper job. So now we are in a very good shape. We have all in place. Our lab is also equipped with all these things to support you. India now, earlier these kind of issues were we were facing. In fact, earlier developed countries were having it, but now India is also in a very good shape to meet all your regulatory requirements. Now, nutrition. Coming back to nutritional analysis, water and fat-soluble vitamins in milk and milk products, food, feed, and ingredients are being done using LCMS, GCMS. So we have all these facilities. Sugar profiling can be done in any of the agriculture products. Fatty acid profiles and cholesterols we can do. Mineral analysis. Mineral means calcium, sodium, iron, and all those things, which are nutrients, which is basically present in food and agri products. So that can be done. Even at parts per billion level, parts per million level. Mineral chelates we can do. Then this is something new, honey testing facility. We have developed a facility here, and it was also inaugurated by our Honorable Cabinet Minister Narendra Tomarji in 2019. And it was also sponsored. We got some funds from the Government of India. So Honey Lab has been said. The difference why I emphasize this is that earlier for honey authenticity testing, our producers used to send samples to Germany and all. Some exporters were also having equipment here. Not a full setup, but they were having. But unfortunately, Indian labs were unable to do this, and so products were going to Germany for testing. And now we have set up this facility, and FSSAI also introduced this authenticity into the regulation nowadays. Honey. Earlier, if you see APMAR or BAS or what you call FSSAI, these things were not there. So adulteration was very common, and we were unable to catch them also, because this is very, very high end, and people were unable to detect this. Because honey is having inherent sugar, as I said earlier. If somebody is putting a sugar inside, we need to have such high-end testing isotopic ratio to find it out. Like LCIRMS, these pictures what you are seeing, LCMS and all. And we also check some markers. If you are putting rice, adulterating with the rice syrup, you will have some marker there, 2-AFGP, and arsenic will be there. So these presence of these will show that it is adulterated with rice syrup, and we also do the IRMS techniques. So for honey, these are the basic tests which is covered under FSSAI. Pesticide, antibiotic residues, heavy metals. Heavy metal means cadmium, lead. These are all harmful metals which is present in medicinal produce and other plants or agriculture products. Physiochemical parameters. Then physiochemical are basic parameters which we all know. Then residues also, because sometimes they will, they use antibiotic residues or veterinary residues for accelerating the growth or against diseases in bees, and ultimately it comes to honey. So that's also very important testing. And right hand side, you see authenticity testing on the top. That is C4 sugar. I told you C4 sources. If cane sugar is being used or sugar is used, then we will check C4 is there or those. Presence of C4 will give you the authenticity. It will say that, okay, if C4 is there, means it is adulterated with the cane sugar. So this is even 4 in oligosaccharides. Ideally, it should have fructose and glucose. So if others carbohydrates are there, that shows that there is an adulteration. Authenticity and adulteration. Honey authenticity, addition of sugar, I already discussed, most commonly occurring fraudulent manipulation. B, feeding with sugar syrup. Then isotopic ratio of C13 cetol can identify the source of sugar involved in honey adulteration, because these ideally carbon is present, I told you already, in a cetol form only in 99%, but there are C13 carbon is in some cases it is present as C13 also. So there is always a proportion between C13 and cetol. This is very unique. So from this we can detect the adulteration. C3 and C4 sugars have different isotopic signatures depending on the photosynthetic pathway of carbon fixation, which we already discussed. So if isotopic ratio of C4 sugar is ranging from -8 to 13 per mil, the unit is per mil actually, and the isotopic ratio of C3 is -22. If it is not coming within this range, then we say that there is an issue. This is the way limit is fixed. So this is C3 plant. I told you earlier, C3 is beetroot, or either cane sugar or maize syrup. These are all adulterated. Using these syrup adulteration, you will get C4. And under C3, rice syrup, if you are adding into honey, you will get C3. So what is the significance of this? Here you can see that. See the two borders you can see. I think you are not unable to find any difference in color here. But you see, the first one is honey. The second one is actually brown rice syrup. This is the way the contamination, the adulteration happening in honey. You cannot make out, as a consumer, you cannot make out this with the color. But ideally, it's totally syrup. So if you're putting syrup, replacing honey with syrup also, it's very difficult to identify. This is another example. You see both are almost black color. But see, one is honey and second one is a syrup. It is corn syrup. So these are the equipment which are elemental analyzer isotope which are used for honey. And this is the peak. You can see how the instrument is giving you the value. The first one is pure honey. And pure honey is giving you -26.162 per mil. And second one you see -13.06. And third. So this is going out of the range. That's the way we can say this is adulterated. If you see, it is going to -24.708. Because I told you earlier there is a limit. If it is going beyond the limit, you will understand it is adulterated. So in the third one, that's the way we understand that. And it is based on isotopic ratio. Now, another one is liquid chromatography isotopic ratio mass spectrometer. Here also you can see pure honey, the first peak, second peak, third peak. You see, first one is small, second glucose, fructose. But you see, when you are adding rice syrup into honey, you see the peaks are getting forwarded. The fructose peak is missing, glucose is missing. So this is the way adulterated honey, third one you see, both are coming. So this is the way we detect. Just I'm telling you scientifically how it is tested. So now coming back to microbiological analysis, we have a good setup for microbiological testing also. Just for your information that in microbiology, mostly people see screen E. coli, Salmonella, Shigella, these are pathogens. And quantitative testing also is there, the TPC, total plate count, total bacteria count, yeast and mold, coliform count, Enterobacteriaceae. And these are the things which we do in microbiological lab. These are the pictures you can see. People are actually real-time pictures of the microbiology lab. And prospects of quality testing, advanced analytical techniques, advanced high-end analytical instruments, non-destructive testing methods. These are the prospects of quality testing. Some of the kits, rapid analytical testing kits, method equipment. So this you can also think. Just even while procuring itself nowadays, what people are doing is people are doing on-site tests using kits. So they do a screening there. It's not exactly a corrected test which can meet regulatory requirements, but these testing will help you a long way to ensure the quality in the while procurement itself, your raw material. Then take away, that is challenges and concerns. There is a scarcity of accredited laboratories for quality testing in the country. Challenges in finding certified reference material, qualified and competent lab personnel, unavailability of accredited PT providers. PT providers means proficiency testing providers. They check the quality of testing. The lack of harmonization of standard across countries. Standards also, sometimes test methods are varying, and that is creating some confusion in the results. So rigid import requirements imposed by importing countries. So when you are trying to export some of the commodities, like Ayurvedic product I told you, sometimes we used to get. So they, whenever they go to these European countries like Netherlands and all, they have their own importing country records. Mostly they check heavy metals, things like that. And issues with traceability. So traceability of the product is an issue. Then lack of infrastructure. These also laboratories are facing nowadays a challenge. Then stricter implementation of food testing regulations. In order to boost capacity utilization and ensure better compliance, it is essential to enforce ground level monitoring and inspection by food safety officers. Then training and capacity building. Dedicated training programs for all stakeholders in the food testing value chain and sensitization of FBOs towards compliance and inspection is required for ensuring quality. Single window system. There exist multiple accreditations and recognition for food testing laboratories in India, FSSAI, EAC, BIS, APIDA. So earlier it was all different audits laboratories were facing, and it was creating a lot of confusions and problems, chaos. But now what happened, it's all integrated now. FSSAI approval, EAC, BIS is different, but FSSAI, EAC and APIDA are coming along with NML, and they're conducting an integrated assessment, and labs are there available now. Then consumer awareness. Awareness regarding quality of product, existing regulations and available quality testing infrastructure in the country. So it's a small video is there. Let me just see whether it's only a 5 minutes video. Possible I'll run, otherwise find out. No, but it will take. Dr. Reddy, are you able to see?
No, sir, no. Can you click it again? Click it again.
Is it now?
It is not linked, I think, not linked. So put it into the, put it into your browser and open it.
1 second. Stop share. Now again I'll share, I think, then only it will come.
Yeah, share with sound. Sound, you have to click.
Share with sound.
Yeah. Okay.
Now let me share first. Let us try. I'm not able to see the share and sound. Now, are you able to see the screen? Is it coming?
Yeah, it is coming, sir, but sound is not there. Video is not there.
Something blank is visible. That's it.
Oh, now it is coming.
I think now it's come.
No,
sound is there, no?
Sound is not there, sir. Yeah, it is coming now. Yeah.
Sound is coming?
Yeah.
It won't take much time. 4 minutes.
The sound is very, very low, sir. Now, can you do one thing, no? While sharing, no, you select one button will be there. Share sound. Can you share it again? Share sound button will be there. You click that button. In the share window, there will be a button that click share sound.
Just a minute. Hold on. One share is it? Share sound. Yeah, what you said correct. Optimize video. Now I can share, I think, right?
Yeah.
Sound, that problem I think change.
Services to a wide spectrum of dairy,
Now it is
food
okay, sir.
and agro sectors.
Thank you.
It was set up by National Dairy Development Board at Anand, Gujarat in 2009. The entire process, from sample receipt to report generation, is through the ERP system. CAF is accredited as per ISO 17025 by NABL and recognized by FSSAI, BIS, APIDA and EIC. We follow analytical methods of FSSAI, BIS, ISO, AOAC, IDF, APHA, methods published in national and international journals, as well as in-house developed and validated methods. For the dairy industry, we provide testing services of milk and milk products. For the agro and food sector, we conduct analysis of fruits and vegetables, fats and oils, cereals and pulses, fish and fish products, meat and poultry, spices and condiments, bakery and confectionery, ready-to-eat foods, infant products, as well as for alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. CAF evaluates honey for its authenticity and also tests Ayurvedic, herbal and food-grade packaging products. We also assess drinking water, packaged natural mineral water and water for the processed food industry for regulatory compliance. For the feed industry, we test cattle and poultry feed, pet foods, minerals and vitamin premixes, silage and fodder. CAF also provides quality diagnostic services for livestock. Our facility has the most advanced equipment to carry out the tests under prescribed conditions. We test samples for compositional analysis, nutritional constituents, vitamins and amino acids. Products are also tested for the presence of heavy metals and minerals. CAF conducts analysis of pesticides, antibiotics and veterinary drug residues. By using sophisticated instruments, we conduct testing of mycotoxins, naturally occurring toxic substances, and illegal dyes. We also conduct tests for dioxins, furans, PCBs, PAH, and other environmental contaminants, as well as for food authenticity and adulterants. CAF conducts biological testing for pathogens and non-pathogens using conventional methods and advanced techniques for enumeration and detection of microbes. We also test species-specific milk purity, A1, A2 milk and GMO origin of agro products. Our range of diagnostic services are unique in India for cattle and buffalo, which includes DNA fingerprinting for parentage verification, karyotyping to detect chromosomal abnormalities, detection of genetic disorders like BLAD, citrullinemia, DUMPS and Factor XI deficiency syndrome, testing for brucellosis, IBR, BVD, John's disease, BLV, BGC, trichomonas, as well as genomic breeding value and breed purity. Our state-of-the-art honey lab is capable of testing authenticity, antibiotics, pesticide residue, heavy metals, and general parameters as per FSSAI and importing country regulations. Apart from testing, one of the key areas of work at CAF is analytical research in food and agricultural products. For the dairy professionals, we organize regular training programs on chemical and microbiological analysis of milk, milk products and feed. CAF as a national reference laboratory provides proficiency testing services for food products and feed and is ISO 17043 accredited. Our technical team supports various national and international regulatory agencies and government organizations on technical and developmental initiatives. True to its vision, CAF has emerged as India's most trusted food testing and analytical research center by adopting the highest professional standards and sustainable business strategies. The entire team at CAF is working on its mission to serve the society by contributing to a safe and healthy world through advanced analytical science and innovation.
Yeah, I think no,
Yes, sir.
it's fine now. I think it's starting.
Yeah. So you're through with the presentation, sir? Still?
Yeah. It's true with the presentation.
So thank you very much, Dr. Nair, for elaborating various aspects of quality testing and also accreditation and certification. And you have very well highlighted what are all the NABL accredited labs available in the country for food testing, more specifically honey and other contaminants. And also you have highlighted various challenges in testing, quality testing of food products, including medicinal plants. So thank you very much. And it was very interesting talk. And I now open it for discussion. If I have any questions from the participants to you. So I think, so I'll start with the any questions. The PPT, I think entire recording will be kept in the Medi-Hub YouTube channel. So I think you can go through, and if we can have anything, so we can discuss. And in general, sir, what would be the what are all the charges for testing? So there many a times this is affordability is also most important. So
Yeah.
how you cater this is the question from my side.
Before talking about that, let me conclude. First of all, let me thank Director Dr. Reddy for giving me an opportunity to present this topic here. And I am just, many times I tell you, I surprise that entrepreneurs of medicinal produce and our role. But I think this is more like a quality issues which we are discussing here. Wherever you face quality products, which we can support you. Otherwise, it's not our core area. But as far as testing is concerned, we can help you. And I think that's why it makes this topic relevant for all of you. Coming back to the testing part, I tell you, if anybody is interested in any of our services, you can go to our website. It is CAF NDDB Anand. If you type, you can see that. And all the details are given there. And based on your requirement, you can approach us and we will give you the rates. It's basically depends on, because the consumable and other things are very expensive for safety parameters. And so likely the charges will be higher. For example, pesticide, it could be around 6,000 or so. And it depends, and minerals, it's not very high. Per metal, it is around 500 rupees, like that. So it depends. Some tests are very, very cheap. Like if you do protein testing, it may be 250 rupees. So based on your requirement, we can quote. So there are thousands and thousands of tests we are doing. So based on your requirement, we can give our rates, and we can give you all the support also. And anytime anybody, because our website is CAF@nddb.coop. If you go to website, you will get it also. We are there to help.
Yeah. So Again, what about methods for validation in case of medicinal and aromatic plants? Validated methods. I think we are working on that one. So,
Yeah. That also we can support you with your guidance actually, because you are an expert. It is your expertise. So with your support, we can even support there also. There's not an issue.
okay.
Where we do a lot of validation. Now we have started one more thing that we are even qualifying the kits, test kits, which is used by the food industry. For example, let us say mycotoxin, aflatoxin testing in feed or milk. On site they want to check. The processing plants they wanted to check and screen while procurement itself. So those are simple kits. There in some range they will get. So these kits we are validating. Kits are validating and giving it so that vendor is getting the services from us and they are selling it to the client by showing that, because we are validating it against high-end equipment and we are seeing that this kit is effective. Like validation of method also sometimes with your support and high-end machines, we can do that. It's not a big deal. Wherever possible, we can do. And mostly, I personally feel that the participant will be they can associate with us in their safety issues actually. Currently already we are getting such a requirement from herbal and herbal companies and all that, medicinal plants, Ayurveda. So they have problem with the safety parameters, especially they go for export, even for indigenous also. Sometimes arsenic content and all it's very high. Again, the plants also based on geographical conditions, there are some variation in the mineral component, and sometimes they have toxin issues. So those things really we can help them, and we have already done, and we can also develop methods for their products. So this is what I wanted to make a point here. So that way it may be helpful for the participants because they are all connected with the medicinal produce and
yeah. So any other questions from the participants? Dr. Satyanshu Kumar sir, you are there? I think sir is not there. Okay. Anyway, so this is a wonderful session that we got to know what are all the things available, resources available for quality testing of food products and medicinal producers, and how Calf Lab is going to help us is the point of discussion, is that one. So many times, entrepreneurs come to me, see developing the products. So they unable to find a right place for testing. So especially, do you do toxicity testing also?
Toxicity in the sense you are talking about the pyrogen and all. That is that.
Maybe health.
Toxins. That is toxins in the arsenic, mercury, and those kind of things we do. Mycotoxins we do. We have different categories. Mycotoxins, already. This is mycotoxins are produced by fungus actually, like aspergillus flavors kind of thing. They produce aflatoxin. Aflatoxin mostly it is in feed and ingredients. It is there, especially what you call maize, peanuts, and all. And ultimately, when it is consumed by the animal, it gets metabolized to M1. That's why M1 is a problem in milk, whereas B1, B2, G1, G2 is problem in spices and other herbicides. Similarly, patulin is a mycotoxin which is present in apple. Like ochratoxin is a mycotoxin which is present in cereal pulses. So this is the way. So there are certain things we are doing, and there are something naturally occurring toxins also. That also we do.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Toxicity of herbal formulations is talking. So something about toxicity of herbal formulations. So, the toxins, presence of toxins only you will be measuring, but not the toxicity effect of that product.
Toxicity effect we don't do generally.
Yeah. So for that also there is another institution in Pune.
Their animal is required.
Indian Institute of Toxicology is there.
Correct. ITRC Lucknow is there.
At Pune. So anyone is interested, you can send your samples there. I think all products, whatever that you are developing and marketing, should be tested before at this Indian Institute of Toxicology. They get once you bring it into the market. So this is one thing that we have to see, because any product, whatever that you develop, you have to test for toxicity. So in a way that there are institutional framework for testing, and we are helping all at Medi-Hub. So whatever the product develops, so we certainly guide them to go to Indian Institute of Toxicology for their toxicity studies. And also in turn, any contaminants and toxins, then we recommend it to your lab, sir. So in a way, we are connected to each other. So with this, again, what about residues, pesticide residues in medicinal? Sir, that is also done because
that we are doing already. Yeah. We are doing all. Around 200 we are covered.
Yeah. So they can do. You send us the sample. That too, this is accredited lab. So most valued. Your certificate will have more value because when your accredited lab is giving, it is more authentic, and you can challenge at any places. So legal sanctity is very, very high here. Yes. So in a way, so we could learn many things about cough and how food testing has to be done, what are all the legal frameworks and other things. So with this, I think samples can be sent by post also. You just interact with them. So there is a question in the chat box, how the samples are to be sent to your lab. And what is the sample, how the sample collection, sampling procedures, if at all, if any videos are there so that we can connect to them.
Yeah, my contact also, somebody was asking, I put my contact also, I put here. And sample collection, sample collection, it's not an issue. I just wanted to tell you that sample collection, it depends actually. If it is, your sample will not have your product will not have any problem in these atmospheric conditions, you can courier it to us, no problem, or we can bring it. That's what people used to do. We used to get samples from Kerala to Kashmir actually. And if that is undergoing some, what you call, if you want to maintain a cold chain while transportation, then we have some logistic arrangement also. We can tell, we can give their details to you. You can talk to them and get their service, and they will maintain that cold chain and they will send it. So that is not a problem. But sampling and all, mostly this sample part, sampling is done based on a standard or based on a regulatory body requirement, or it is what you call, it is formulated by the manufacturer. So that you guys can have your own sampling criteria, and we can help you if you want. There is not a problem. I also shared my somebody has asked my contact details also. I have shared my my contact detail in this. So you may write to us. We'll help you. Not an issue. Okay.
They have UHPLC and other things.
Yeah.
So I think
UHPLC. Yes, sir. We have a UHPLC. We have. I don't know which purpose you are looking for. Normally, our UHPLCs are used basically for toxin analysis. We don't do any active ingredient testing. So far, I think you will be using it for your own active ingredient. But anything else you want to see? One more thing I want to tell you. It's good that this question is asked, because I tell you sometimes what happens. Some of the multinationals, they share their method with us, and they asked us to do that testing and give them result. They share us the method, they share us their CRM, and they give a sample. So the advantage is that once we get their method and standard, and they help us to standardize their procedure here, and they say that we want a report from you as a third-party laboratory. And we mentioned there also this is customer supplied method, and we issue that report. So I'm just telling you, wherever because many times what I have seen the challenge in this medicinal plants and areas, you don't have a standard method in checking the assay for purity of your active ingredient rather. Many times I see this is a challenge, but many of the companies, they have designed their own way. They check the peak area of the material and keep that as a standard, and every time they compare against that, or they go for a FTIR. We have also FTIR. So those kind of things they develop by themselves. So there, if you develop your things by yourself, quality, what you call the criteria, and you ask us to copy that and do it, that also we can do, and we can help you in giving the certificate of that.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to make it clear.
Yeah. I think very good points we have discussed, how the sampling has to be done, how the samples should be submitted, and methodologies for analysis, whether it is own method or it is customer method. So I think this is what the regular practice that is being followed in all the laboratories. So one can reach cough at any time. So contact details have been shared, and we can also connect you if at all, if you have any things to be tested, do let us know. But active principle assay and other things, we can do it. So we do have for methods available and instrumentation available for testing of active principles. So especially for ashwagandha, senna, isabgol, and many medicinal plants for that.
Dr. Reddy, if you can share us that for if you are not getting into that third-party testing, wherever we want to help you as a commercial basis, we can help you also. If you
yeah. That's what that, and this
and
is
we can
this,
develop that method based on your method, and then we can start services.
Yeah. True. So I think we got a lot of points cleared in this meeting. So I thank profusely Dr. Nair, who has again spared his time on behalf of Medi-Hub Technology Business Incubator as well as ICR DMAPR. Wholeheartedly thank you, sir, for accepting invitation. And I hope many of my participants will reach you, kindly facilitate and help them get their analysis done. So with this, thank you very much, sir. You can take now leave. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
very
sir.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity, and I hope it is useful to all the.
Yeah. Certainly, sir. Certainly, we'll keep your this lecture in the YouTube channel of Medi-Hub, so that they can see at any time. And
who supported me in sitting in this because I was facing a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Dear participants, moving ahead. So we have one more session. It will be a quick session of 20 minutes. Kindly bear with us. We'll be having this Medi-Hub Technology Business Incubator and overview. So Dr. Deepa, you can go ahead. Dr. Deepa is our business manager, looking after various aspects of activities of Medi-Hub in terms of incubation and other services we are looking at. So quickly go ahead, Deepa. So over to you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Again, thank you so much for the opportunity. And it is in presentation mode, is it?
No. Presentation mode is not at all. Can you put it onto presentation mode?
On my screen, it is already in presentation mode.
I think there is connectivity. Go ahead like that. You move the slides and see.
I'm moving it.
They are not moving.
So fine, not wasting much time. See, there are so many dilemmas when you start your business, right? So to give my brief, I'm Dr. Deepa Patel, working as a research associate here in Medi-Hub DBI. And day in, day out, we are having so many queries from the entrepreneurs facing their own problems in their journey. And we come out with certain solutions for those, and we try our best to make them, connect with the expert domains in the area available. And that's what one kind of demo which I have gone through, because quality and other things are very much been into the trend, and people are getting aware about this, and it is a need and hour. When you coming up with any kind of product or services, quality is the one thing which is being expected at par. So to look up into this, my presentation flow is some highlights on medicinal and aromatic plants, and then we'll look up into the incubation center. If somebody has previously some query, you can connect me later on as well. Here it is, as we are enough aware about the business environment in the present scenario in regard of medicinal and aromatic plant segments, the segment can be further explored in some of the products, like you can start with cultivation and primary value addition, and then some of the secondary value addition can be done from this segment to some kind of ice creams, herbal beverages, chocolates, and there are so many products to look upon. Cosmetics is the one which is trending. Nutraceutical is one, as Dr. Nair also discussed that in these days, people are getting more aware towards food which they intake, right? So rather to opt for medicines, they opt for pure food. And that's how this whole setup of these labs and other things are into the stream. So even for those purpose, nutraceutical is very much trending. So rather to, gulping of the allopathy medicine, people opt this these days. And herbal pesticides, as organic agriculture is very much in demand. You can always go for organic cultivation, but to facilitate those things, farmers opt for herbal pesticides. So you are done with all kind of certifications required. And herbal baby products are trending these days. Herbal householding and household and cleaning products are also trending. Even if we talk about incubation centers, so my query is that what is the perception in regard of incubation you guys are having? First of all, let me solve it. Incubation centers help you on saving on rent. It helps you out on improving your focus towards your business project. It helps you to connect to the funding agencies. Overall, it networks you up with other starters and mentors into the field. So that is going to be beneficial. Here at Medi-Hub TBI, our vision is to commercialize innovation and bring in startups into medicinal and aromatic plant segment. And again, from our side, you can utilize the expertise available at our institute, and you can back the knowledge of all the scientists, and they have been working on this field from past 15 to 20 years, and they have vast experience. So you can utilize those into your business. And incubation process, again, like any business, it starts with an idea. When into that idea, you find certain kind of glitches, and to get solution on those dilemmas, you start working on. And if you are not able to get out with solutions, more into that, you get help from incubation centers, and that's where some kind of brainstorming sessions are going on, and they'll make you aware about the legal compliances into which business you are entering, and so many things. To checklist is going to be shared with you. They'll help you out with business plan and other things, so that you'll come to know that whole idea and whole concept is overall feasible to you to take up to the last business inception. Now, from our end, to facilitate all these things into a business journey, we have enough expertise and we facilitate innovations, even technology transfer. I mean, the incubation process can be on your idea or on our technologies which are already been patented by the scientists and invented by them. So it can be both the way. It can be on from your idea or from our end as well. So, and regularly we do such kind of workshops and seminars to facilitate and spread more awareness into this segment. More to talk about on services. Yes, we provide technology consultations into that. There are a number of things, but to name some, to guide one in regarding of registration and compliances and licensing and so many things. When it comes to business consultation, it is always about so many business plans like financial plan, market plan, go-to-market strategies, and how you are going to enter, how you are going to sustain, what is the brand you are going to build, brand positioning, and so many things are there, backward, forward, market linkages. So all this comes under business consultation. So yes, we help into that as well. Even mentoring and networking is the key area where we play the role. And infra facilities, as discussed earlier, even we have so many research and development labs, and there's all queries that HPLC hai ki nahi hai, and there's also many machineries are there. You are always welcome to visit our institute in person, and so many details are also given on the website itself. Access to funding, yes, we help you out in pitch decks, making your business plan proposals and connecting you to the financial institutions and angels. And knowledge sharing is one thing which we do, and promotional activities for our incubatees. And admission requirement are very much made very simple, and it is not complex at all. It is just an online Google form link, and into that your idea should be novel, it should be feasible, commercially feasible, sustainable, give you some profit out of it. You can be anybody, an enterprise, association, anybody, NGO, anyone can avail and be our applicant, and you should free from legal aspects. To talk about Medi-Hub TBI's entrepreneur tracing activity chart, we do such kind of awareness program to make common people aware that yes, there are so many facilities available at your end, and try to utilize those for your business. Don't sit with problem, try to come out with the knowledge of expertise in the field and try to come out with the solutions on existing problems. Such kind of sensitization workshops we do. We have a number of inquiries, and into that we have already 20 to 21 startups with us on different different business proposals are from there. As always discussed, somebody is only into cosmetics, somebody is into nutraceuticals, somebody is into contract farming, somebody is from mushroom. So multiple portfolio we are handling these days. And on onboarding process, again it is very simple, so complex part is not available at Medi-Hub. And if we say that onboarding process, it is just an application which you have to fill in. It is simple Google form, and whatever information which you don't have, just leave it, and whatever information you can let us know, try to put it all into that form, submit it. We'll go through that, our committee will assess, and we'll let you know the final decision on that. Some of the incubatees from our end, as I said, that there are multiple of portfolios we are handling these days, and into that our visibility in media. Yes, our virtual flyer is there, so you can in depth you can go through that on our website, and to reach out to us is very easy through WhatsApp and through Zoom ID, and through Gmail you can do, because many people have this dilemma that we are sitting into some corner of India and how we can connect you from Gujarat. So yes, we connect you very easily through Zoom. If you have any queries, we just schedule a meeting, an online meeting. We can discuss easily as we are talking right now. Even you can talk back, and it is like a very easy meeting which can be done. So those things are not into the problem anymore. So this is our contact details. Kindly go through this and go through our Medi-Hub YouTube channel. You'll come to know that what work we are doing and how we can handhold you, facilitate you. So any queries into this, quickly we can take up. And to end up this, thank you so much for patience listening.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
there
you
is
very
one
much,
query.
Dr. Deepa. Very well pitching how Medi-Hub can help garner your business in agriculture and also more specifically the medicinal plants. So I think I open it for discussion if you have any questions. There is a question: is it possible to have a tie-up or MOU with our deemed to be university in Ambala for herbal entrepreneurship and open Medi-Hub?
Yes, sir. Yes, we are very much open to that, Dr. Gupta, and you can kindly connect to us on this Medi-Hub tbi@gmail.com. So definitely we'll take it up forward, and kindly drop us a mail. So yes, with the help of MOU, we can enter into such formations.
Yeah. Any other
Thank
questions?
you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we didn't know, sir, that this kind of work is going on the DMAPR in Anand. So I have been connecting to all your series, and I think it's very nicely. So many series you have conducted, sir and madam.
Yeah.
So we are enlightened, and hopefully the same thing we can continue here with your support.
Yeah. Please,
Sure, sir.
please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Drop us a mail. We will see how
Sure.
best you can help. Yeah.
Sure, sir.
So thank you very much. And if you have any other questions, anybody has an idea to kindly share the contact details. Yeah. Nair contact details. Okay. We can share, no issues.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Share it in the chat box. Let us see. So thank you very much. At the end, we had wonderful session, an overview of DMAPR by Dr. Satyanshu Kumar, followed by discussions on how quality testing to be done on food products and medicinal produce, and what are all the avenues available and framework and legal challenges and some concerns. And at the end, we had discussion about overview of Medi-Hub Technology Business Incubator. So in a way, how this is going to help you in converting your idea into business. So our objective is to bring in startups in medicinal plants. Kindly see and do connect to us if you have any idea, business idea for idea to develop a business enterprise. We certainly look forward to handhold you and support you in all aspects, including finances. So we have network of angels, network of institutions who are funding. So we can connect you. So all you need is the bright idea which can convert, which has very good market potential. So I hope you enjoyed this session. So kindly connect to us if you have any idea of developing a business enterprise in the field of medicinal plants. Apart from that, if you have anything on agriculture also, please do let us know. So thank you very much. With this, we can end the session. So thank you one and all. Thank you. Thank you. We'll close the session. I think we can keep this session in the Medi-Hub YouTube channel. Deepa, you can share YouTube channel, Medi-Hub YouTube channel also. You can share. Fine, let us close the meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so many people are newcomers. Yeah, Bhavik is there. Yeah, I think I can.